subscribe to that channel. Subscribe to that channel. Click that like button. Subscribe to the channel. I appreciate everybody that tuned in the last time. I feel like Canelo is being a hypocrite because Canelo's saying that Bud Crawford only fought one good fighter in his career, Errol Spence. I feel that's not fair to say that because Canelo has fought fighters that he didn't even deserve the victory over, like Edislandi Lara, the Cuban guy. He outboxed Canelo, and the only fighters that I give Canelo credit, like as far as elite status, I say three fighters. I'm gonna be fair. Caleb Plant, Golovkin, but it was very questionable the first two fights. The first fight was a draw that could have went either way, and a lot of people contest the second nod that they gave to Canelo Alvarez in the second fight. But then Canelo deliberately waited years to fight Golovkin in the third fight. He claimed that he didn't want to fight him because he didn't deserve it, because he was calling out Canelo for what he was actually doing, cheating and using illegal substances, which Canelo blamed the meat that he was eating in Mexico, which is a stupid way to respond to something that's actually fact, that he actually was came out negative. He came out positive for I forgot what the name of the substance was, but he came out positive for having illegal substances in his blood when he fought Golovkin. So I feel like I say three fights. Canelo beat three good fighters. I say Golovkin, but they were very close and questionable. In the last fight, the third one, which Golovkin was a shell of himself, Canelo beat him. Of course, he beat him easily because he was never the same fighter again. He should have never even been in the ring with Canelo because it's very dangerous, especially if Golovkin was a shell of himself and he wasn't as sharp or even nearly the Golovkin, as good as the Golovkin that he first fought the first two times. I say three fighters: Caleb Plant, Golovkin, and Daniel Jacobs. Three elite fighters that Canelo beat. I think Canelo did good against Daniel Jacobs, and he did good against Caleb Plant. But I think it was very questionable the first two fights with Golovkin. So he can't criticize Crawford and say that he only fought one good fighter because he fought Terrence Crawford. Terrence Crawford fought Errol Spence Jr., and he also fought Sean Porter, fought Kell Brooks, and he fought Amir Khan, which Canelo fought Amir Khan and Kell Brooks, and he put Kell Brooks at a disadvantage in weight, and he beat him, and Canelo also beat Amir Khan, who was coming up from three different weight classes. So I feel like Canelo is a hypocrite. He's calling out Crawford, saying that Crawford didn't fight any good fighters, only one good fighter. But Canelo hasn't fought any good fighters that we can say as far as like enough of good fighters that will give him a test as far as somebody that's in his prime, like somebody like that legitimately the hardcore fans want to see him fight David Benavidez. So I feel like Canelo's not fighting those kind of fighters like David Benavidez. Is like that's a fight that's actually could be the end of his career. And if he really is a great fighter, he would fight all comers and he would fight David Benavidez. But no, he's just a good businessman, and I feel like it's unfair that he's criticizing Bud Crawford when Crawford has way more skills than Canelo. He's way more advanced, way more technical. He has a better boxing pedigree. It's not his fault that the fighters that at the competition in his weight class is not as Canelo's. Canelo has more options to choose from. The fighters that he's beaten, what do you call that guy? What's the guy that he beat? He moved up to fight Kovalev, but the Kovalev that he fought was a shell of himself. He wasn't the same fighter. He was at 36 years old, and he was no longer in his prime. So I feel like Canelo's being unfair and very hypocritical and calling out Crawford for what he hasn't even equated to what he's actually saying that Bud Crawford didn't accomplish. He's not equating to that. He needs to prove himself against David Benavidez and stop fighting fighters that are not good, not on the same level as him, like Berlanga. Berlanga's not on the same level as Canelo. Who did Berlanga ever beat? What kind of boxing pedigree did he have? or was he known for before he stepped in the ring with Canelo, and what kind of experience did he have, and what kind of fighters has he beaten to actually be considered somebody that he faced, Canelo, instead of fighting David Benavidez. David Benavidez is the official legitimate threat in that weight class, but he chose not to fight him. He chose to avoid him for like 2 or 3 years. And, Juan Munguia was unproven. Munguia is a decent fighter, but very limited, and he hasn't been proven. And, of course, everybody saw that would be a good fight as far as pay-per-view because it's two Mexicans, and Mexicans will sell if you put two Mexicans together, and also a Puerto Rican like in David Belanga, even though he doesn't know where the Morro is because he doesn't speak good Spanish. So I feel like it's unfair that they don't promote the Subriel Matias. They promote the Belangas when Subriel Matias is actually Puerto Rican and is from the island, and he knows how to speak the language, and he really is a true representative of the island. But Belanga grew up in Brooklyn. I'm not saying that he don't have the right to say he's Puerto Rican, but at the same time, his Spanish is not great. How could he be representative of Puerto Rico if he grew up in Brooklyn and he's not bringing the belt to Puerto Rico if he wins a belt? But I feel like the fight, the fight with Belanga and Canelo was a business move. It was economically fruitful for Canelo, and it would sell because it's Puerto Rico versus Mexico. But it's not a real Puerto Rico versus Mexico. It's like a no-frills version of Puerto Rico versus Mexico. We could have had Isaac Cruz versus Subriel Matias. That would have been an official, legitimate Puerto Rico versus Mexico. That would have been worth it. But Canelo criticizing Crawford for not fighting good fighters, he's being hypocritical. And I feel like Canelo's fought 3 good fighters that he's actually got. Well, he fought Erislandy Lara, but he didn't beat Erislandy Lara. Erislandy Lara beat him, outboxed Canelo. And they try to blame or that his performance is boring, that you can't win a fight like that. But no, it's not that it's boring. He outboxed Canelo and he outlanded Canelo. So that's why he won. Boxing is hit and not get hit. And I think Canelo lost that fight with Erislandy Lara. The only fighter that he beat legitimately is when they were in the prime. I'm not talking about Golovkin, because Golovkin, those fights were questionable. They were close. But I give Canelo the second win, but it was very close. A lot of people give the fight, both early fights, 2 fights, to Golovkin. And the third fight, of course, Canelo was going to win because he purposely waited for Golovkin to get old and be a shell of himself. And he got that victory, which it should have not been allowed. I feel like I say Daniel Jacobs, that he legitimately beat. Canelo legitimately beat Daniel Jacobs, and he actually legitimately beat Caleb Plant. Okay. Bro, what's your opinion on Elon? Salute, bro. That's crazy. Yeah. Facts, Felix. Felix 25. On Elon, you're talking about Elon Musk. I'm talking boxing over here. I'm trying to keep everything boxing. Subscribe to that channel. Tony Also Knows Boxing. Subscribe to my channel. Tony Also Knows Boxing. Don't forget to click the subscribe button. Support my channel. Help my channel get more traction. My channel's growing and it's reaching a lot of people, but I need everybody's help. Yeah, Felix 25. Yeah, shout out to Felix 25. I appreciate you tuning in. Subscribe to my channel. Got nothing but love and respect for everybody that's tuning in. And the future people that are coming, already like and subscribe, bro. I appreciate you, Felix 25. God bless you. I appreciate you. Have a great, productive day. But yeah, I feel like Canelo is being a hypocrite, calling out Crawford, saying that Crawford only fought 1 good fighter when Canelo only legitimately beat 3 good elite fighters. But the same fighters that he's beaten, a lot of the fighters that he's beaten, like Amir Khan, Kell Brooks, Crawford fought him, but he fought him at their weight, at the right weight. Like he didn't fight him they didn't have to go up in a higher weight that much like they did for Canelo. So I think Canelo's actually cheating because he made those fighters go up like 3 weight classes, but they came from 147 to 160, I think. So I feel like Crawford should get more respect for fighting Sean Porter and Errol Spence Jr. and fighting the likes of Amir Khan and Kell Brooks, because he fought them at a weight that was more fair. Canelo fought him at a weight that was really unfair. So I feel like Canelo is such a hypocrite, and I feel like He's not as good as everybody says he is. In the 90s, Canelo would have been just an ordinary fighter. In the 90s, he would have been an ordinary fighter if beating the fighters that he's beat, even the champions that he's beat. Just because you beat champions doesn't make them legitimate elite fighters. You know, they just because they have an undefeated record, like Brooks, when he fought Brooks and he fought Sanders, Billy Joe Sanders. I feel like these fighters are not pound for pound. They're not gonna go in the pound for pound and they're not gonna go in a kind of stat. I don't think so. They're not major. They didn't accomplish anything major, and it's all business. It's all like boxing promotion. Got disconnected, but yes, subscribe to my channel, Tony Austin Boxing. I had to get that off my chest. But thanks for tuning into my channel and subscribing. Felix25, one love. Have a great day. Tony Austin Boxing. Press that subscribe button. Click the like button. Press the subscribe button.